Hey, all right. Welcome to my, wow, I lost my lower third. There it is. Welcome to my Speed to Profit Marketing Wednesday from Toronto. And I just forgot to post the link in the group. So I'm going to do that right now. And I apologize for a slight delay, but we'll get going here. It's all exciting. We just finished a 3-day mastermind, and there's some good things to share with you from that, some ideas, and a whole bunch of other good stuff happening. So the link is now posted in the event page for those of you that might want to join. I hope it shows up there in a second. There it is. All right, good. The link's there, and we are live. So thank you for being here with us today. Speed to Profit Marketing, live from Toronto. I just finished a several-day experience learning all kinds of good stuff, one of the masterminds that I belong to, and I've got some cool stuff to share with you. So first of all, let's talk about the announcements that are coming. Next week, Monday, literally, what's today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days from today, our Speed to Profit Marketing Intensive is happening in Phoenix, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Several people who belong to my private Speed to Profit Marketing group are coming, as are a number of my private coaching clients. It's going to be an amazing event, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Phoenix. We'll have to see what time next Wednesday's show is, because that will be the third day of my event. We might actually do it from the event and have people participate. That will be fun. In fact, that's probably what we'll do, is just have a half hour with the people that are at the event. Got people coming from all over the world to join us live there at the event, as far away as Australia and all over the place. So really excited about that. The other thing is, at the end of next week, we will be doing our second 2-day book challenge. So Friday and Saturday, November 21st and 22nd, is our next 2-day book challenge. If you haven't participated in one of those, you should. If you have a book you want to write, or if you ever thought you wanted to write a book, and if you thought, I got to do that someday, one day, I got to move my camera over just a little bit. All right, let it readjust there. Someday, one day, I'm going to write that book. The 2-day book challenge is the most incredible way to get it done, and we have some successful authors from our last challenge, and some new ones coming this time to get already several signed up to get their book written in 2 days. So that's another thing that's happening. Check my little list here. We have a number of people that have joined our private coaching group, Speed to Profit Marketing, on Mondays at noon. That's also exciting. If you want to learn about any of these things, here's what you do. So what I want you to do next is www.speedtoprofitmarketing.com/book challenge, or www.speedtoprofitmarketing.com/event. And you can learn about those. So let's get started today with some thoughts about marketing. Sometimes we feel like marketing is a dirty word, like it's somehow a fancy name for just running around asking people for money, or running around trying to convince people that they need what we have, and we're going to talk to them until they understand they need it, and we're going to somehow convince them of that need. That is not marketing. That is pushy sales tactics that we all hate. The things that gave used car salesmen their bad name, or door-to-door encyclopedia, or vacuum cleaner, or water softener, or other systems, sort of a bad stigma that somehow when one of those people get a hold of you, you're dead until you buy, right? That's not marketing. It's certainly not contemporary marketing. Marketing is creating awareness. And these are not just fancy words. It is the process of creating awareness in the minds of likely prospects. That means people who need what you have. So creating awareness in the minds of likely prospects of the services or products that you offer and the benefits they provide. That's it. Creating awareness. And there's different levels of awareness, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Creating awareness in the minds of likely prospects who probably need what you have of the services and benefits you provide, or the services and products you provide and the benefits they afford. It is not pushy. It is not uncomfortable. It is not even running around asking for money. The whole mindset shift is simply this. You provide a product or service. No one will purchase it from you or be able to take advantage of the coolness that you offer until they know what it is and what it does. So letting likely people know what you do and what it will do for them is what marketing is about. So that, let's break that down for a minute. We have to know where people are that might need our products or services, right? The old way was for an attorney, for example, that did accident law, an ambulance chaser, sometimes called, to put up a big billboard and hope that a few of the people that drove by needed an accident lawyer. Or that people would see the sign and later when they needed one remember the name or something like that. Today's marketing is far more sophisticated than that. You can target your ads. You can get in front of likely people. So let me give you a real quick, easy example. Let's say there's a Facebook group for parents raising kids or parents raising teenagers or support for troubled teens. And there are many such groups, thousands and thousands of them. So that would be a place to advertise or to market products or services that you thought assisted with that particular situation. You wouldn't put that kind of marketing in front of a group of people who needed plumbing help, right? And on the other hand, you wouldn't put stuff about raising kids in front of a group who was concerned about plumbing or on a plumbing list. You just wouldn't do that. The interesting thing is we have the ability to do that kind of targeting now. So I'm saying this basic stuff, which I've said many other times, and you know intuitively if you think about this. I'm saying it again because what we're going to talk about today is two things that are really important. One is attention spans are really short. Mine is, yours is, and if we don't capture someone's attention, even someone that might need us, need what we provide in the first few seconds of any kind of an interaction, it's very unlikely that we will be able to talk to them about what we do, even if it's what they need or want right now. Because our minds, you can see that demonstrated all the time in the workplace or in a public place or on an airplane when they give us the safety announcement. Nobody's actually listening. Nobody is actually listening to that noise. One of the funny examples is a flight attendant can be standing in front of a person. I've seen this happen. Standing in front of a person announcing that cell phones need to be turned off before the flight. Someone sitting right in front of them is on their cell phone doing some stuff. They're not doing it frantically in the hopes of hurrying up and finishing the text before they have to turn it off or anything like that. They're just cruising along. The flight attendant makes all the announcements and then takes a step forward, sees the person has the cell phone on, and then with exasperation says, "I just said we have to turn our cell phones off." The person looks up, and the look on their face tells you they obviously didn't hear that because they looked surprised, maybe a little embarrassed, and immediately turned the cell phone off. And they were 1 foot or 2 feet away from the person making that very announcement about turning the cell phone off. So we have trained ourselves to ignore the noise in the environment. We have trained ourselves to ignore everything else that's going on except what we want to pay attention to. I do that. You do that. We simply are not listening most of the time. And that is unfortunate because we've trained ourselves to do that so well that even when we're looking at somebody pretending to listen, we're not listening. We're actually not listening. Okay, and I've seen that often in the workplace. As a manager and an executive, I would have a meeting and I would give specific and direct assignments to people, and they would be looking at me, and they would even make a few notes on a piece of paper, but they actually weren't listening like all the way in, comprehending that meant they needed to go right away and schedule a meeting, or right away and produce a report that I had to give to the Minister of Energy in a few minutes or whatever, and they would simply not register totally all the way in. They heard it and they wrote it down. and they didn't click with, oh, wait a minute, that means now. It's like a hangout you're supposed to be on, or a meeting, or someone that's coming to fix. Oh, wait a minute, that's today at 2 o'clock. That's in 5 minutes. And you had this vague awareness that it was pretty soon. All right, so I've used enough examples, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. We do that all the time. So since that is the condition, what do we need to do to penetrate that sort of fog that we put over all of ourselves? So here are some thoughts. I'm going to use the word pitch, not in the baseball sense, but your information pitch or your sales pitch or your marketing pitch, in the sense of making someone aware of what you do, not in the sense of old hardcore persuasion techniques. So if you don't have a marketing pitch that is extremely powerful and immediately catches a prospect's attention, then here's what happens. Let's say you're even at a networking meeting and people are walking around asking what you do. Most likely outcome is they won't remember any or very many of the people's answer that they asked that question to. What do you do? Oh, that's what they hear. So if you have spoken with someone, I mean, this is to illustrate the importance of a marketing pitch before I talk about its structure. Two different kinds. One is a sort of formal structured pitch, and one is a more casual kind of pitch. So let's think about this. The most effective way to do that, and this is online too, and there's different ways to translate this to online, and again, with the limitations of the time that we have in 30 minutes, I won't be able to do all the details. But if you want total transparency and all of the gory and fabulous details, then, speedtoprofitmarketing.com/group coaching would be the place to go to get all of that, because this last Monday I went over at least one of these pieces with my group coaching people and gave some assignments and talked about specific things they could do to correct, or not to correct, but to craft a powerful pitch. So the first thing that you need to do, oh great, we've been joined by another glorious personage, George Green, from last night's Hangout. The first thing that you need to do is think about the needs and the needs of the person that you're talking to. So you're marketing, and let's say you market life insurance, and you specifically target young couples that have just had babies, and you want to market to them one of those policies. It's very, very, very inexpensive when a child is young, and that grows over time, and they're often pushed as education fund hedges and those kinds of things, and they're very effective in those ways. And so I'm not talking about the value of any product. So one of the first things that you do, and you think for whatever reason you know that person just had a baby and they're a likely candidate for you. So you can start with, I do life insurance for parents of young children. And that will get you tuned out. If you started, for example, of, did you just have a baby? That kind of a question is completely different. It's focused on them and something that you think happened in their lives. Or if you're getting to know them, the question could be, hey, I have 3 kids. Do you have any kids? And that would be it's a personal type question and gets you engaged in a different level of conversation. And then if they do, and your information is right, and they have a toddler or someone that's a prime target for you, later in the conversation when it comes around to work, because now you're talking about kids, later when it comes around to work, then it moves easily into, well, I help protect kids in the futures to provide the adequate education fund for them when they get to 20 years from now or 18 years from now and they're ready to go to college. So I help young couples that are concerned about the future education needs of their kids to handle that now and get them on a path so that that'll be taken care of in the future. And that's a completely different kind of conversation. It starts with an entirely different introduction, and quite frankly, it starts with you being more interested in them than you are interested in chucking out your sales or marketing pitch, because you desperately have to get that information out there. No, you actually don't. If you ask the question first about their life or their children, it is a much more natural lead-in. So that's just some really quick examples of what I'm talking about to break through the noise and to achieve just the first level of conversation, the first sentence that actually goes into the mind and gets down to the place where they're processing that information in real time, as opposed to thinking about other things and they're nodding while you talk. All right, cool. All right, so for the benefit of those that have just joined us, a couple things. Next week is our event, speedtoprofitmarketing.com/event. It's our 3-day intensive. At the end of next week is our second 2-day book challenge, speedtoprofitmarketing.com/book challenge. And the group coaching, speedtoprofitmarketing.com/group coaching is my private coaching group. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about, and I'm excited about that because it's actually growing quite fast right now. Let's talk about this pitch, this quick intro that you can give someone after you've done an appropriate connection mechanism. A pitch isn't an appropriate connection mechanism because none of us, we love to buy. I like to buy cool stuff, so do you. I like to be the proud new owner of who cares, as long as I want it. But we all hate, my microphone popped, we all hate being sold to. We all hate the feeling, sort of slimy, I need to go take a bath feeling when we've been sold to, especially if we went ahead and bought it after what we feel might have been a high-pressure encounter, and we're like, I'm not sure I need this, I bought it, yeah, it's a good idea, and then we figure out all the reasons why we did okay. And then later we might have buyer's remorse. We all hate being sold to, but we all like to buy stuff. So how do we get around that? So when it comes time in the interaction to talk to people about what you do, provide, like we said in the very beginning, marketing is simply making people who are likely prospects aware of what you do, the benefits of your products and services, so that they can take advantage of them to solve a real problem that they have. So the people with the shortest attention spans are the why learners. Why? So the first piece of any pitch that you give should answer the question, why? Why do I need this? So the way I think about to do this is just to say who it's for right away. So if I were back in this situation that I just did and doing life insurance for small children, parents of small children who are looking to have life insurance through their age 18, and then if it's a whole life fund, cash it out for education or something, or convert on adult policy, I would say for parents and children, for parents of kids 3 and under, so the first words out of your mouth, say who it's for, because that's the why learner, and if you don't get the why learner right away, then you miss them and you lose that group of people. People that are looking at the how, they have a little more patience because they realize that's a process. People that are what it is kind of are right behind the whys, and then the worriers about what's wrong are the ones that are the most patient, and those are from some psychological studies. So the first thing you say is who it's for. So let's just keep using my example. For parents of young kids who are dissatisfied with current options for building education funds. And so you further delineated that. So I have products for parents of young children under 3 who are dissatisfied with their current options for building an education fund for the kids. So then you answer that. Then you say what it is. My education fund power builder, my toddler freedom program, whatever it is, but you just say the name of your program, and then you say does what it does. So you'd say my toddler freedom program gives parents the freedom to stop worrying about the education future of their children and know with confidence that blah. And then the last part is really important. If you want to differentiate yourself, then you say, and unlike, and then you describe competitors, and you don't diss anybody, but you say, unlike other products that, and then you list shortcomings of products that you know are out there. Unlike this and this, unlike these other, life insurance programs, my program does da 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 da, and you describe the things that yours does. And you can say that entire thing in less than 30 seconds. And when you can say that entire thing in less than 30 seconds and you do it in that order, Then you deal with the why I need it, what it is, the name of it, how it works, and how it's different in that order from all of your competitors. And that's a structure to create a 30-second elevator pitch, if you call it, or a 30-second networking pitch, or a 30-second introductory statement that lets you describe your benefits, lets you describe them in a powerful way, and lets you differentiate yourself from your competitors. As those of you that follow Speed to Profit Marketing know, I talk all the time about the effectiveness and the essential nature of your personal story, and because of how deeply that ties into your mission, whatever you do. So, for example, a person that sells life insurance for young kids, they may do it because it's a job and that's just how they happen to earn money. Another guy that sells the same thing may have gotten into it because he found it was a really effective way to take care of his kids, and now he wants to do that, and he really enjoys helping parents do that. A person that sells from that second perspective, if they learn to do the kind of honest and authentic approach that I described, will be far more successful than someone that just does it for a living, because there's an air of honesty and authenticity about it. And the first person may practice and become really slick in selling techniques, but that always leaves that feeling of, I want to go take a bath afterwards. So, okay, now I know that there are going to be people that disagree with all the stuff that I said, and that's great. Complain. Let's have a dialogue in the comments. All right, so I have several other things to talk about, but I say I've got a couple of people, 3 people in the section joining us today, and if you'd like to, I'd like to open it up to give you a chance to comment on what I've said, to agree, disagree, or throw tomatoes. This is Kellen live in Toronto. George and Yvette and Joy, if you have something you want to say, go ahead, please throw it in.
Well, I love the topic. Thanks for the invitation again, Kellen. Just to echo what you said earlier, the reality is we've been oversold, overstimulated, overwhelmed, and everybody has developed an immunity to being sold, and that's why the wave, the new approach is not selling; it's story selling. We have to resonate and develop a real relationship with our prospects first and foremost. And that opportunity coming out of the gate for the people with the shortest amount of attention span, we have to offer a solution. We have to do it in an authentic way. And that's our why. So what do? Well, I provide potential solutions for fill in the blank. A great example is I had an interview with somebody this morning to do some consulting in his business. And when he asked me what I did, I offered up my solutions, and he said, you know, I don't want to hire you as a consultant for my business. I want you to be my personal coach. And I closed him on 12 weeks this morning.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My motivation is, first and foremost, how can I serve this person? Not how can I sell them? We've got to offer solutions first and foremost, and because the metric for attention span just on the internet, 10 years ago, it was 12 to 13 seconds before they'd click away. You had that much time to create resonance and a memorable experience so they'd stay and or come back. 5 years ago, it was 5 to 7 seconds. Now it's 3 seconds. That's on the internet. We all have the attention spans of ferrets on candy bars and espresso. So unless you can clearly, concisely communicate who you are, what you do, and the value, why I need your product or your service, they're clicking away.
And one of the things that's that has also become better, because your description of our reduced attention spans is absolutely correct, but one of the things that's cooler is with the better targeting that is now available on the internet, you can narrow your reach down to those that are more likely to need what you have. So the advertising costs have actually gone down, even though cost per click has gone up, because you now have the ability to put your targeted message only in front of those that are likely to need it, with some good targeting stuff that exists both on Facebook and YouTube and other, targeting opportunities, retargeting pixels, and all those kinds of things that let you do things that you couldn't do before, and not throw your billboard essentially up in front of a bunch of people that might click on it because you have a cool graphic or something like that, but then cost you money because they have no interest in your product or service whatsoever. And if you had known that ahead of time, you would have chosen not to put the graphic in front of them or the ad, because that's going to cost you $1 or $2 for the click. So, our ability to target has gone way up too, which is a really profound advantage. So the second little piece of pitch that I wanted to talk about, I didn't see Joy or Yvette unmute, so I'm assuming there's no comments there. The second piece of targeting or language that I want to talk about is a colloquial one. The one I just talked about was very structured and talked about the learners in a particular order. There's another kind of discussion that I like to use. I use it a lot, and it starts in a sort of a little bit of a challenge, but it's a challenge of status quo versus the future. And so I say to clients or prospects sometimes something like this: you can stay right where you are. You can continue using traditional methods and traditional approaches to what you do, and you'll continue to get traditional results. But as you know, companies that are using those results are losing market share and are scrambling to figure out how they can best leverage new technologies, methods, and the changes that are going on in our attention spans and other things that George and I have been talking about. So you can continue to use those and you'll continue to get the same average declining result, or you can use a new system and then you describe the high-power benefits of the new system. So that is another way to approach it that is a contrast way, where you talk about the status quo versus a possible future based on their needs, and particularly when that the status quo methods are declining in their success, and that traditional approaches and traditional companies that have been using those things are experiencing reduced levels of success. And so that is also a very effective way to do in a conversational way at the right point. And you don't just walk up to somebody new and say, you could continue, because you don't know what they do anyway. But at the right point in the conversation, you say, you could continue to use those traditional methods, traditional SEO, traditional advertising, whatever it is, since we're talking about that right now, and you'll get the continuing declining results that those methods are using, because demographics and tastes are changing. Our attention spans are shrinking. Our ability to use search engines are going way up, and actually YouTube is used more than Google now. So if you continue to use the old methods, you'll get those results which are declining, or you could and then explain the benefit in their terms for their needs of a new approach. And so that's another conversational way to write an effective 30 to 40 second set of words that will address the needs of your prospect. Now that I've mentioned those two things, I want to cover one final thing before we're done today, and that's this. None of those pitches, I'm calling them pitches on purpose, not in the bad way, but none of those pitches will be helpful to you if you stumble or if you're hesitant in saying them, because that's the sure sign that it's rehearsed words written and it's a pitch. So the foundational key for those or any other style of approach to work is practice until it is simply a natural way for you to talk about your product or service. That is completely facilitated by your genuine interest in that person. So when you come to understand they need what you provide, your genuine interest, coupled with having rehearsed the language and the wording of the benefits of what you provide in a way that doesn't sound either greedy or pitchy or that sort of repulsive gobbledygook that we've come to hate, all of us, will give you an opportunity to sincerely converse past the filters. And so we now have more filters than we used to, double, triple, quadruple, and so we've got to get past those filters or we'll never engage in a meaningful conversation. George would not have been able to close that client this morning if he hadn't been, one, concerned about him, and two, able to describe what he did in an effective way, so that the client himself said, I know we started talking about this, but what I really need is this. And that came from George's ability to articulate clearly what he does for his customers in a genuine way. So practicing those kinds of pitches, and again, not used in a negative way, but that kind of languaging is a foundational key element. Now we'll talk about how that practice works, and practicing elevator pitches plus, versus practicing camera, which are two different skills, in another Hangout. But we don't have time to do that this morning because that's a whole topic on its own. This has been our special edition from Toronto on the road, and I will be back in Phoenix next week, but Wednesday will be my third day of my Speed to Profit Marketing Intensive. So what I will likely do next week is have the event using all of the folks that are in my intensive, and they'll be part of the program, and you'll get a chance to see some of the people that are in my intensive Speed to Profit Marketing group. I'll open it up. If there are any final comments from our panelists today that want to have a comment. George, you got anything to close up with?
Just to add to what you said, when I listen with new ears, if I'm someone who's desiring to learn how to create this authentic pitch, I'm instantly going to go into how do I do that? And so my invitation is develop an awareness and a strategy first and foremost that you're coming from your why. What is your why? To serve this person, not to make the sale, but to show up as someone that sees and understands your prospect and what their challenges are. Your why is how can I serve this person with my service or product, period. If you have any other motivation, you're gonna come off, as Kellen said, greedy or being hungry for a sale, not to create and provide a solution. And
totally agree. Sorry, go ahead.
We are not only are we overwhelmed and we have this immunity to being sold, we recognize it instantly, and we just power down. We put the la la la, I'm not listening on. So you have to practice and be absolutely certain what your why is. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I offering this service? And what's the benefit? You've got to know it and believe it first.
Totally agree. We don't. None of us like the commission breath thing. I see, Yvette, you've unmuted. You got something comment for us?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you unmuted. I thought you perhaps had a comment.
I was waiting. I typed it because I thought we were running out of time.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, my first question was about the timing, but then the other thing was I was doing not so much an elevator pitch, but like an invitation for the free offer. And after I finished it, I realized I forgot to introduce myself. And so I was wondering if it would suffice to just sort of like add text underneath saying, like, hi, I'm Yvette Dubell or something like that, or am I going to have to redo the whole thing?
Re-record. Yeah, I took the 48-hour film school with James Wedmore, and the industry standard is no more than 2.5 minutes. Now, I'm very verbose, and I'm a writer and an author, but we're dealing with attention spans, and you have to open. You are your brand, Yvette. So that's your open. Good afternoon, good morning, hello, friends. I'm Yvette Dubell. Right out of the gate, because they're going to buy you first before they buy your product.
Okay, that's good to know.
I'm going to even be a little bit worse for you. I would get it down to 90 seconds.
Or better, yeah. 90 seconds in some books, 90 seconds is long. So, again, you've got to create a resonant invitation. You've got to present yourself in an authentic way. It's going to take practice. I prefer being on the other side of the camera. I'm a visionary and a producer and a copywriter and all that stuff. So when I did my my video offer, I re-recorded it 7 or 8 times because I wasn't comfortable at first. The other invitation, Yvette, is get rid of the word free. You have a complimentary consultation. You have a complimentary offer because free attracts people who want free and will invest in nothing but free.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Good suggestion. Thank you.
We're pitching fastballs today.
Well, I was thinking like if I cut out some of the pauses and the ums, I'm sure that would get it down a little bit.
That's practice. That's practice. Are you operating from memory or from a teleprompter?
No, I was just talking. I mean, I had the point, but I was trying to not read it because just the eye contact and all that sort of stuff
like
kind of wonky.
Yeah.
And it slowed me down even more, and it made me do even more when I was sort of looking at the words. So I just kind of, Kellen and he gave me some really good sort of bullet points to hit to stay focused on the language of, the visitor and focused on the benefits and why they would be interested. And then, as you guys mentioned earlier, distinguishing what I was offering from cause marketing and, sort of like don't toss this aside as just a cause marketing solution.
Yeah, repetition is key. Just keep practicing, keep re-recording, get so comfortable, and know and believe what you're saying. Because this is, when you're in front of the camera, you're not pitching to one person. They're on some unconscious level, this is going out to millions. So be comfortable with who you are and what you offer at that level, and keep practicing until it just flows out like butter.
Okay, I guess the upside is I had a breakout when I shot it, so my face is cleared up now. So I guess that's an upshot.
What I would suggest, Yvette, is, and this might be a little painful notionally, but get over the idea that you're ever going to do anything in less than 5 or 6 tries. The notion that, I got through it, it's good enough, whew. If that's sort of, and I know that that's kind of how we feel sometimes, we barely know, good, that's good enough, I hope, I don't want to touch that, that kind of feeling. When we feel like that, one, it comes across a little energetically, and two, it prevents us from doing our best work because we're afraid to re-record it because we think we're going to screw up. So when you know in your mind, I probably have to do this 5 times, that's okay, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did record it several times, and I tried to pick the best one.
Yeah.
But still, realizing that I forgot to introduce myself, I was like, crap.
Don't worry about it. Just throw up the iPhone if that's what you're doing it on, and just I don't know. You doing the ARM iPhone thing? You got a tripod? What are you doing?
No, I have a stand for my phone because the camera phone was better than my laptop camera.
Sure.
So I was using that, and I have a stand for it, and I shot it outside because then I don't have to worry about lighting and stuff like that. But I have to wait until nobody's cutting their grass and the UPS guy came when I was shooting.
All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast because we're over time. I don't want to have it run.
Okay.